I have been wanting to know the question since I've been on my journey. Why are we here and what is our purpose on earth as human beings? Okay, that will depend on the person. Different people are here for different purposes because you've had, on average, 9,000 incarnations. So you've been on this journey many, many times. And so depending on what your purpose is, we have a collective purpose and we have an individual purpose. But depending on what you're lacking in terms of, Earth is like a school where you're coming to graduate and learning to vibrate on higher dimensions and higher realms and kind of like burn out the desires of this physical world, because the physical world is pulling an attraction and expansion. And once you've overcome certain things, then you don't need to be here anymore. So you move on to the higher realms to experience and learn in that level. So it's kind of like going through school, you know, like when you're in the nursery, you know, you learn certain level of information, then you grow up a little bit and then you go to the primary school, then secondary school, and then you might go on into higher education and so forth. But you graduate from one to the next. And as a being, right, your real being, when you're dealing with beings that have souls, they have the ability or the potential to rise and go all the way to the higher dimensions. And when you get to a point where you've mastered the physical world, as in the tangible world, you go into what people will consider the unseen world or the untangible world, which composes of, like I said, you know, higher vibrations, and you can become a pure energy being or an ethereal being or etheric being, pure, fully, so that you can, you know, have the ability to personify, slow down your vibration. Because as you graduate into more of an energy being, you realize that the lower vibrations are not as fast, not as in tune, not as in, you know, the capabilities and things that you can do. This is why extraterrestrials that are vibrating on higher densities, they come here and they have higher intelligence and they're able to use more of their brain, for example. All right, so to answer your question again, your purpose here, as I said, collectively, is for us to learn the highest lesson, which is known as love, which the word love we know has been desecrated because there's always the, as I was saying, like the distortion of anything that will give you what they say evil is fair seeming. Because even though you know love, the true nature of love, as in a shuk or divine love, unconditional love, means that it's not about the lustful, the physical love of, you know, male and female or the things you like, material things. So what we're saying is that that ashuk we all got to learn, and that will bring us together naturally, because you united when you're vibrating on the same resonance or frequency. Okay,